Welcome back! My name is ballerscuba. This is Video Games Over Time. We are still in 1986. Today, we're going to talk about Fantasy Zone. The story of Fantasy Zone takes us back to Sega. We have talked about Sega several times before. Recently getting into developing video games, Sega has been responsible for Space Harrier and Hang On. We last talked about Sega in depth in our video on the Sega Mark III. For Fantasy Zone, Sega turned to Yoji Ishii and Shuichi Katagi to design the game. Art for the game was done by Masaki Kondo. The music would be done by Hiroshi Kawaguchi, who had done the music for Hang On and Space Harrier. Fantasy Zone is a scrolling shooter. The player plays as a ship named Opa-Opa. Opa-Opa's goal is to destroy a number of bases in each level. Once those bases are destroyed, the level's boss will appear. That boss can then be defeated to move on to the next level of the game. Opa-Opa has two main forms of attacking, bullets and bombs. As the player plays, they may get upgrades for Opa-Opa's weapons, speed, as well as getting extra lives. To get the upgrades, the player must defeat enemies to get money, which can then be used to purchase upgrades at a shop by touching a marked balloon. There are 8 levels in the game. In the first 7 stages, the player will control the scrolling by moving Opa-Opa. The last stage, however, is a rematch against all the previous bosses in a row, known as a boss rush. If the player can defeat all those bosses, they can then face the final boss. Sega released Fantasy Zone to Japanese arcades on March 5th, 1986. That is a brief backstory to Fantasy Zone. With that told, it's time to play the game for ourselves. And here we are in the game. This is Fantasy Zone. Now, things are going to go very quickly on this screen, but it is copyright Sega 1986. When we put in our coin, I will say that there will be... Oh, by the way, he has little feet. There will be an introduction to the plot. I will not be able to read it. It goes by too fast in this, so I will read it in the modern review, but we will read it. It's not like there's a ton of information there, but I am not particularly good at shooters. I have shown this time and time again, and this is not going to be an exception. This is not a difficult... well, I should say it is a difficult shooter. Even in terms of shooters, this is a little bit difficult. It doesn't look like it, though. It is a cute game, but... we'll see what I can do. Let's go ahead and drop a quarter in and go. I'll try to explain things as I go, but this is a game that you just kind of need to learn as you go. That's just how the game is designed. Once again, I'm not going to be able to read all of that. We're in, let's call it Playleaf. And there we go. We got Opa-Opa here. And we'll try to take out these spawners, the generators there. Okay. There's 1,000 gold. Now the shop should show up the first time when I have about 2,000. So we need 2,000 gold for that shop to show up, and then we can get our upgrades. Because right now we're slow. We don't attack very quickly. So, you know, we're going to want to deal with that. I can drop bombs. Ha! Ha! I do want to hit these guys with the big noses. Because they drop coins. But only like 50 at a time. Alright, down you go. And I get... still not enough. Back off. Go again. Whichever way I'm facing, the screen will scroll that way. So slowly. And I missed the money? I think they're saying I missed the money. I didn't get there fast enough. Alright, got that one. And here's the shop, because I got 2,000. And I died before I got into the shop. I told you that I'm not particularly good at shooters, right? Alright, there's the shop. Let's get back into the shop. Now, I only have, I think, 30 seconds this first time to, like, figure out everything that's here and select. We're going to go with the jet engine. That makes me faster. That'll probably be the only engine I ever buy. Anything faster than that's going to be insane for me. And... let's go with the laser beam. It might not be worthwhile because all the beam weapons only last 20 seconds, but we'll see what we can do. Alright, up. Oh, look how much faster I am, how much more I shoot. Oh, this is nice. Okay. Get you. Once again, kill all of them, because they always drop... They always drop something, and my laser is gone. Okay, so we only have 2 more to go here, I think? And I don't know what it's gonna take to get the shop to open up again. No! They're everywhere! Okay, now all the enemies need to go away. I only got 10 for killing that? Okay, so now it is probably boss time. You can tell at the bottom that we got rid of all the generators. There's boss. Alright, you want to be at a middle distance away from him, and the goal is to shoot him in the mouth when that is open. And dodge all his projectiles. If you're too close to him or too far away from him, those little green things will ricochet back at you. So you want to go for the mouth. You can tell you're doing things right because it changes color every once in a while. Okay. I think we're doing okay. Having the jet engine is a huge upgrade. And down you go! We did it! Give me the money. I didn't get all the money! We made it to Taba's, though. Alright, back to the shop. Now I only have 20 seconds, and the laser beam costs more now. As you purchase things, they get more expensive. Let's get the extra ship. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's all I can really do. Let's do the wide beam, I guess. Why not? And there is auto fire in this one, so feel free to use the auto fire. But once again, even this has a limited time span, so try to use it as best as you can. All right, 2 down. Okay, and I'm out of the beam already. That's a lot of money for a temporary thing. Okay. We did get the high score, so maybe I am good at this game, but it never feels like it. This game, with how cute it looks, should not be this difficult. That is my stance on this style of game. Which we have not named, but I will at some point. And I did not think you were going to go up. That's on me. And once we die, all of our stuff goes away. All of our upgrades. So you have to buy them again. And once again, every time you buy them, they become much more expensive. Why? No! I couldn't go fast enough! Damn you, Tabas! I'm just trying to get over to the next generator. That's my goal right now. Just give me to my next target. I should have gone the other way. It would have been faster. No! Down I go. But that is basically the game. Like, there's not, like, it is what it is. That is the game. So let's go ahead and put in our initials there. That's probably the best I'm going to be able to do. I am not good at shooters, and this one's a hard one, despite it being very cute. But hey, I over-tripled the high score, so I'm going to call that a victory. And that is the game played. So with the game played, it's time to talk about how it holds up today. Long ago, far away in space, there existed a fantasy zone where a courageous hero called Opa-Opa, the player, fought in a valiant cause to rescue the fantasy zone from its enemies. And that's the introduction, so let's go ahead and talk about how the game holds up today. Did I have fun playing Fantasy Zone? I did. Now, I know I didn't play it for very long. It's not a very long game, mostly because I'm bad at it, but the game does have quite a lot of appeal. It is a fun game. I just wish that there were some balanced things that made it easier for me. Part of the game is the challenge, and a lot of people do love the challenge of the game, but for me, as somebody that's not particularly good at shooters, I would love things to be different. I would love the beam weapons, for instance, to be permanent instead of just 20 seconds. By the way, the beam is not recommended for the first boss. The beam is too wide to hit it in the mouth, so don't use the beam on the boss. But I only knew about the first boss because that was as far as I expected to make it. Since I made it to the second level, I knew I wasn't going to be doing things too much better than that. So we played quick. We'll try to make the review quick as well. The game is fun. The gameplay is definitely fun. I do wish that I had a little bit more control over the scrolling, simply because Opa-Opa would kind of go toward the generator a little bit faster than I could attack it sometimes, so I would have to back off and attack again. I wish that the upgrades were more permanent, especially those beams, but the ability to move around faster was definitely needed, and try to get more lives and things like that is definitely needed. I just wish it didn't scale so much every time I did it. And then, some of the balancing when it came to how many enemies were on the screen, and especially when I don't have upgrades, how they were faster than me and I couldn't kill them all fast enough. The game is difficult, and that is how it's designed. In terms of the graphics, I think they hold up very well. I think the style of these sprites and the backgrounds, this kind of cute atmosphere that you have going on in the background, is appealing, and I think because it has a defined style, it holds up better than a lot of the other things that we have played. But the game, it definitely has its cute factor to it, and we'll talk more about cute later on. The sound, I think, is good. It's got a good couple little jingles there. Makes me want to play, but ultimately the game made me frantic. It was difficult to kind of get through everything as quickly as I would like, or it just kind of felt like I was always on the run, even when I was on the attack. As soon as enemies showed up, just, oh no, and I gotta get the coins, and the variability on the coins from 1,000 to 10, like, that's huge. That's too much in my mind. So once again, a lot of people do love the challenge of the game, but for me, as somebody that's not particularly good at shooters, it felt a little unbalanced, and it didn't feel quite right. Also, the time that you can spend on the shops is kind of crazy that they limit that, and then the part selection screen is very limited. You have to know a lot of times what you're doing before you get into it, and I don't know. I'm not going to know that until I've played it multiple times, but that's what they want. They want you to keep dropping quarters so that you get better and better at the game. In terms of replayability, I think it does have some replayability, just not my particular style, so I won't probably want to play it again, but for people that are fans of shooters, this is definitely a game that you should check out. If you've never heard of it, I highly recommend checking out Fantasy Zone, playing a little bit, seeing how far you can play, and hopefully win. It's hard, though, but definitely a game worth checking out, especially if you're a fan of shooters. And that's my modern take on the game. When the game was released, it would prove to be successful. It would be the highest grossing cabinet in Japan for a couple months in 1986. The critics at the time were also positive about the game. Despite this success, though, the game would not be released to arcades in other countries around the world. Combined with Twinbee, Fantasy Zone would be influential, helping to inspire what became known as the cute-em-up genre. Opa-Opa would also be unofficially seen as the first mascot for Sega. Sega worked quickly with Fantasy Zone, at least in Japan. They would release a port of Fantasy Zone to the Sega Mark III on June 15, 1986. They would also release a computer port of Fantasy Zone in 1986 for Japanese computers. These versions were not as technically sophisticated as the arcade version, but would be relatively successful. Fantasy Zone would see other ports, sequels, and re-releases. We will keep an eye on these as we continue. As for Sega and the individual creators behind the game, they would all continue to create video games, and we will hear from all of them again as we continue. That will do it for the story of Fantasy Zone for now. My name is ballerscuba. This has been Video Games Over Time. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in our next video when we get dark.